Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Perth to Paisley podcast this season. Episode 133 is finally here, the first of the 23-24 campaign. It's finally upon us. The fixtures are out. We've got friendlies to discuss. Some smashing new kits are here. We've got some summer signings to chat about, predictions to give. But you've still got the same two numpties that host this podcast. I'm one of those, Adam Kennedy, and I'm joined by Daniel McIver. McIver, have you been enjoying your summer? Missed the Jambos?
It's been good. It's been good. I was saying to you and a few people kind of over the past few weeks that this is the first time in my life I've ever not missed Hearts, and it's been weird. I don't really know why. It's not like I'm dreading this season or anything. It's just I've quite enjoyed having a couple of months off, because I was going to say, oh, it's like 5 weeks, but then Hearts didn't do anything for basically 2 months. So it did feel like you got a full break, but now the first week of the new season properly. I'm sure by 3 o'clock on Saturday, I'll be as raging when I see the team as I normally am. But yeah, it's been a good summer. How's yours been?
My summer's been absolutely bang average at best. Not managed to get away. That's what life in Britain's all about. You just wait for some nice sun and just sitting by a pool or on a beach or any of that.
It's been the wettest July in like years.
Absolute dog shit. Well, I thought our June was all right.
Yeah, June was fine.
June was all right, and then as kind of the pish weather approached, Hearts still had yet to make a signing, so it was like the two things were just coinciding with one another. But now we're actually, making moves. So fingers crossed that, come the weekend or come a couple of weeks, it'll be, all rosy in the garden. Do I realistically believe that that's going to happen? Probably not, but here we are. Talking about like the first kind of rage moment of the season. Is it bad to say that 4:45 on Saturday afternoon really is giving me the fear? Like the proper fear.
I think it's sensible considering the football club we both support.
And the record of said football club at a certain ground, in a certain city, against a certain team.
Yeah.
Last season excluded.
Yeah, exactly. Last season was a bit different, but generally it's very, very fair.
Oh dear. No matter. Listen, I've listed off all the things that we are going to discuss. I've got absolutely no structure for this. My usual levels of prep are, here in the new season. Nothing's changed in that respect. What do you want to chat about first?
I think we should start with probably the most impactful thing that happened over the summer so far, and that is officially classed as the coaching team that is put together instead of a singular manager.
Yeah, I mean, do you just want me to get the statement up?
Sure, that's a good.
Because I genuinely, I can comfortably hand on heart say I don't know how to basically like sugarcoat this. I don't know how to announce it. I don't know how to I think it's just the best. It's best if I read it.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Why have I just clicked on a Daily Record article? That's not what I want. I want Hearts, but who cares? It's fine. I'll just somebody will quote it. It's fine. So right. So Stephen Naismith has been named as Hearts technical director.
With all the air quotes, nudge. Yes, exactly.
Frankie McAvoy is our head coach, and Gordon Forrest is just
still here,
chilling in the background as an assistant manager.
He's just here. He's loving life.
Have you ever seen Hearts do anything like this?
Well, I saw some people compare it to the fact that we basically had this under Romanoff. It was just never official, and Romanoff was actually in charge, whilst we just had a false pretense of a just complete trainload of managers being like, I'm picking the team, definitely. And then when they left, it was always like, I was never picking the team. Romanoff was. I've never seen it that we actually do it within the dugout itself.
No, that's a new one to me. I mean, look, I've been asked about this a fair whack. It's just a loophole, isn't it? Really,
exactly. That's all it is. We all know. Listen, no offense, Hearts. We all know Naismith's in charge, and I know. Listen, I think there was one night when like McAvoy said something that it was like 1 a.m. and I was annoyed, and I was just like, "This is an embarrassment." And then I kind of stopped and was like, "Hold on." I know that it's funny for opposition fans because it's so different.
I think it's funny for us.
It's funny for us because it's the most us thing to do. But I do not think Stephen Naismith will fail because of this. I do not think Stephen Naismith will succeed because of this. I don't think it has any bearing on how Naismith does as manager.
No.
If we suddenly win the first 5 games of the season, beat Rosenborg or Crusaders, then every Hearts fan will go, see, this is an absolute genius thing. It's worked perfectly. Even though I would have felt, well, if we'd done that, we probably would have done it. Likewise, if we go to McDermott Park, get beat, then get beat against Partick Thistle, then get beat in Europe, then get beat off Killie, folk will very quickly go, this is because of this shambles that we've got of a coaching structure. And again, I just don't think that is. We saw they worked together for those 7 games. They worked well. Listen, we'll get to speaking about friendlies. I was at the Leeds game, and it was Stephen Naismith telling everybody what to do, with Frankie McAvoy standing beside him, vaguely moving his arms, trying to pretend that he was doing, in case UEFA had a camera into the game. Like, Naismith is our manager. And once we get knocked out of Europe, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting Hearts to just announce it then.
Yeah,
to be honest, it's just funny. Like
it is funny. Like objectively, it's funny.
But do you not feel as though it's like it's kind of like you say? I don't think there's any real winner in this debate, because like some fans are still adamant that Naismith was given the job too early. Like if it goes well, like who gets praised, and equally it goes wrongly. There's still no absolute certainty in terms of a finger to be pointed at.
Well, this is the thing, and I think this is where we should start speaking about the actual appointment itself, because I think a lot of people kind of just speak about the circumstances, and it's almost glossed over the fact that Naismith is in charge. Like generally, because we were like, no one knows how strong the links are. But Marty Cifuentes kind of seemed to be the strongest one, especially when he was asked on live television about it and he acknowledged it. I think the appointment generally is very meh. I'm not annoyed by it in any way, but I also feel like it's not very ambitious. Now,
I think it's the cheap option.
Yeah, honestly,
That's what's been branded about, isn't it?
Yeah, and by the end of this season, we might be sitting here in 3rd place, going, it was a gamble that completely paid off. Why were we all worried about it? But we could also be sat here at Christmas and we have a weird vacancy in this coaching team because someone's been removed, as we're having a disaster. And going,
at least one.
Yeah, going, well, of course this was going to happen. I think the anger behind it as the summer continued was just the lack of anything from the club, except weird interviews with Frankie McAvoy sat like in a hostage situation. Like, yep, I'm picking the team. I'm doing this.
It's the Sky one. Like the radio, like sometimes the radio silence was better than like seeing the Sky, because my toes were curling. I was just thinking to myself, and do you know what is so stupid? Like it's literally just because there's a lack of a certificate. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's literally it. It's kind of like if I was to mouth off about being a journalist, even though I've got a year more to go.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
I'm not really, but I sort of, I am, but I'm not.
You're in the main.
I'm in the process of becoming one. I'm not certified yet. I'm not qualified. Crikey. I mean, imagine when folk actually do view me as a journalist.
Oh, God, we're all... I mean, that's the end of print. It's on the source anyway, but that's it. If you're allowed into the building, what are we doing? Like, come on.
I know that is really quite worrying. Yeah. So there was that. In terms of... let's just talk about the recruitment, because you've kind of alluded to the lack of transfer activity. It was the perfect segue into it. When Michael McGovern was announced as our first summer signing with a lack of fanfare, did you think that we could be in for a long summer?
I burst out laughing at that. because what a shame for him. There's no need for that. He should have been the 5th sign-in. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we've signed Ross Stewart's replacement, by the way. Sorry,
but equally, I'm sorry. I'm obviously in the club media scene now. I can totally see where the admin is coming from.
Oh, totally.
Because had they built it up to be something chronic, and it's with all due respect to announce a 39-year-old goalkeeper that's just left Norwich, having barely played for a bang average championship team.
They announced it in the right way, in as much as just going, by the way, we've signed this guy. It doesn't really matter.
Stuck in on the sly. Yeah, it's like trying to squeeze your mate into a nightclub, really, isn't it? You don't want to announce the arrival. No fanfare, but here we are. I love that there was a lack of transfer klaxon, and immediately there were several tweets demanding that a transfer klaxon be included for Michael McGovern's arrival. Oh, it's just funny.
The reaction from a lot of the reaction was funny because everyone was kind of like having a laugh. The reaction from some was a bit mental, where it was like, "This is why we're going to get relegated." Like, what are we doing? It's like, guys, it's Ross Stewart's replacement. He's never going to play. He's mainly a coach. Like, it's fine. He's all right. He's better than Ross Stewart.
100%.
Like, I'll absolutely...
I'd rather Michael Stewart than Ross Stewart.
Exactly. And I knew... It wasn't like, well, this is your business. There you go. We've done it. We've made a signing.
here's a signing, you ungrateful bastards.
I knew it was just like, we can quickly get him sorted, right? It's not a very crucial position. That's fine. Right, we'll work on it. And listen, I did expect us to make an outfield proper signing earlier than we did. Right?
Yes.
I didn't think...
I expected one or two, given how early we did our business last season. I mean, you look at it, by my birthday, which was June the 9th, Ty Rolls and Lewis Nielsen had been signed up.
God, yeah, that's a good point,
I think.
Actually. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
And I want to say there was maybe a third kind of in the works.
I feel like George Grant was announced reasonably soon after because they went to the Spanish camp, and then Cochrane was announced.
That's right.
As well.
Yeah, that's right.
And listen, I understand frustration about how long it was, and I think part of it was compounded by the fact that the teams that we view as our competition, namely Hibs and Aberdeen, were getting a lot of their business done early. So we're sat here, what looks like from the outside, just twiddling our thumbs, not doing anything, as Josh Ginnelly gets announced for Swansea and going, right, not only have we not made any signings, we've lost one of our best players, our competition's strengthening. There was, however, an overreaction I felt from some people being like, this window's terrible, we're having a disaster. It's like, judge a window when it's done, or at least judge a window when some signings have been made.
But it's like you say, like, couple the lack of activity with the Ginnelly departure, and it was like, what on earth's going on? And even then, he's a position that we haven't replaced yet. But I'm feeling a lot calmer. By the time this episode
comes out, we might have done.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm feeling calmer because at least then, like, targets have been identified. We're in the process of announcing a couple things, like the club tweeted earlier on today.
Yep.
To quote them. But I don't know. I do feel as though there has been an overreaction, and you couple that with, like, Hearts fans are just looking to pick up on everything. I don't know if it's because we're in the 150th year, or by the end of the season, obviously 150 years of the club, everybody thinks it's going to be some magical special season. So why have we not got the finger out? But it doesn't, like, it doesn't really work like that. Just because Hearts are celebrating their 150th year, it doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to be challenger for titles or like any of that malarkey anytime soon. So I think we just need to rein it in a bit. I think we'll have a good idea of where we're at in maybe a couple weeks, couple months' time. I don't want to say till after the first round of fixtures, because that does seem a bit late, but certainly, you know, given we're going to chat about the fixtures later on, given the opportunity that's presented itself with our start, I think there's a real chance for Hearts to get some momentum going at early doors. I really hope that's the case.
And we could be sat here even if you say after the first round of fixtures, we could go, oh God, thank God we did our business later and we were more careful with who we picked because look, every single signing's come in and done well. Now you also could. That's not ignoring the fact that we could be sat here going, "Gossip, we didn't get a proper replacement for Ginnelly. We didn't get a backup for Atkinson. We didn't get a creative midfielder and stuff like that." But we then could be. There's still another month of the window left as we sit here, so it's like there's plenty of time, and the players that Hearts fans have been looking to the competition with might not hit the ground running, and you go, "Oh God!" Actually, you look at it and go, "What were we? What were we worried
We might have
about
dodged a bullet having
Yes,
missed out on Dylan Levitt and whatever.
Exactly. Right, let's speak about that.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's not. let's just gloss over that one. I'm fine.
I have a feeling that's not true. We made it very clear our two very distinctively different thoughts on Dylan Levitt last campaign.
Right. Listen, I'm all right. I definitely didn't have fantasies of getting Benny Beningame in a double pivot in front of a back four. I'm fine. Honestly,
I will say, I've got Dylan Levitt in FM for Hearts, and he's really good at FM. But in real life, I've yet to see anything to convince me that we should have got him.
Okay.
And that has nothing to do, by the way, with the fact that now that Hibs have signed him. Because if you go back last season when he was Dundee United,
you've been banging this drum for a wee while. To be fair, I wouldn't call you out like that. And look, we might have signed a better, younger Australian equivalent. Our second summer signing.
He's world class.
That's seamless. You were talking about the death of print. It's just as well that digital media is in a new age.
Because we've got you leading the charge. We'll all be all right.
But yes, Callum Nieuwenhof, the Hoff, assigned from Western Sydney Wanderers, 22-year-old central midfielder, Australian. Like I say, never heard of the bloke. But unlike the vast majority of Hearts fans, I ain't going to write him off before a ball's even been kicked. Your thoughts?
Mental.
We're the worst club in the world for it. We are the worst club in the world for it.
I saw today Theo Bair got announced for Motherwell. I think only that has eclipsed negative. I mean, maybe Michael McGovern. Michael McGovern was.
I know, even I was surprised that Theo Bair got that Motherwell move.
In fairness,
but then I realised that they've barely replaced Kevin Van Veen, so it's of absolutely no surprise.
The reason that a lot of people are very convinced by Theo Bair is because there's proven evidence that he's not very good in this division. Nieuwenhof has just had a class division domestically, and folk are just no, thank you.
No.
I've, however, seen him play one game against surely championship title hopefuls. Jesus Christ, if they're not, who is?
I mean, I think it'll be Leicester, but sure.
Yeah, but they'll still be
they'll be in the mix.
They'll
be in the mix.
And I'm convinced he's great.
Good. That's encouraging. That's all I needed to hear.
My point, the two signings, I will speak about the Leeds game generally because I was there, Adam wasn't, so it's hard to kind of be like, let's discuss the game in depth, stuff like that. And it's a preseason friendly that really means fuck all. But the two best players for me were the two new signings. And speaking about Nieuwenhof, I genuinely don't remember him losing the ball. And I mean that in the sense of both passing, and I don't remember him ever getting tackled and losing it. He was... I wouldn't say he was like, oh my God, look at this expansive passing that he's making where he's playing 40-yard pingers. But he was just getting it, turning, playing the ball. And
that's what I was going to ask you. Is he kind of the tidy... Is he a tidy ball player? Is that essentially what... Yeah.
He looks like he's got the energy of Devlin, but he can pass.
I mean, it sounds like a crossover of Beningame and Devlin.
He does. In a weird way, he does. And I'm excited for it.
That's very encouraging. Does he have a phobia of shooting outside the box?
No, he does not, because all goals in his career that he's ever scored have come from it. He's never scored inside the box. He's only ever scored outside the box.
Again, sign me up. This is very encouraging. I'm liking what I'm hearing. So that's good.
He was also given agency to get forward. It was really weird. George Grant played left wing for periods of time. Right now, I will say it looked like a 4-3-3 with a three of Haring, Nieuwenhof, and Grant as a three. But Grant was on the left and would drift because.
Right.
No, actually, I tell a lie. It wasn't. It was a 4-2-3-1 with Grant on the left because Forrest was playing as the number 9. That's it's
a loads of fucking meltdown about that.
Yeah,
that was quite amusing.
Grant was like a floating 10 on the left-hand side.
Alongside Shankland and
Oda.
Oda, of course.
Grant was quite poor, right? But
colour me surprised. Shock horror.
But what it then did was allow. I don't know if Neuenhoff just suddenly decided, right, we're bare. And again, we didn't touch the ball a lot. But whenever we did, it felt like Neuenhoff was like, right, let's go. Come on. Let's push for something. Now, most of the time, it didn't end up at anything because Liam Cooper's face just stood in the way and he just headed everything down. But Neuenhoff does seem like someone who's very happy to just be pinging it about back four and his midfield partner, but then will just happily go, right, there's a pass to Oda. I'll get it out wide for him.
Nice. Tidy. And listen, I know what you're like in terms of why look at defensive players that are match winners, why look at players that, contribute to big moments. You just prefer blokes that run, head it, kick it.
Also contribute to big moments, as we saw, considering we couldn't have anyone head a ball for the second half of the season.
So the man that we hope will redeem that feat is Frankie Kent, who has put pen to paper from Peterborough United, the 27-year-old, joining up with the Jambos, centre-half, released out the Arsenal Academy, had time at Colchester, it was most recently with the Posh, has taken another defender who had signed from Peterborough United's squad number. Let's have a moment of silence for Michael Smith.
In my bank account.
Your bank account.
I have three things on Frankie Kent.
Is he the new Michael Smith in terms
of
a bet?
Four things. He's taken away my bet and I'm annoyed at him. So actually, let's stick with the negatives. What is a centre-half doing with number 2?
Oh, thank God you said it.
What's going on?
Disgusting. But then again, I loved Craig Beattie if he were number 4 up front. So,
but he's a striker, he's a maverick, he can do that.
Yeah, but sometimes McIver, there's no rules.
There should be.
You do what you want.
Away from
I'm with you though, it is minging, but you do you, Frankie.
The two main things I got. Now, I personally just thought Neuenhoff was a wee bit better than Kent, but the general consensus was Kent was man of the match, and I wouldn't disagree with that. If someone was like, no, Kent was, I would be like, I understand. The two main things that stood out to me is, one, he is fucking massive and can win a header.
Oh,
he won an offensive header as well. It went wide, but he won an offensive header. But the Leeds got their first corner, Dan James swung it in, and he won it. And there was a noise around Tynecastle. It was like, oh yeah, defenders can do that. We forgot. And two, he is very vocal. That's his first game against top-level championship opposition, and he was just constantly talking, constantly shouting at folk to keep the heat, talking at people being like, calm down, we're still keeping this. When there was a bit of frantic energy, I think it was when... You'll be shocked to hear frantic energy and Cammy Devlin said in the same sentence. Devlin came on and he did his Devlin thing where he was running about like a bomb. Kent played him the ball and Devlin tried to turn really quickly and play it and it got caught under his foot. And Kent went up to him, which was a funny image considering the height difference.
The disparity in height.
Yeah, but he was just like, listen, you could see him just being like, calm down, we just need to keep the ball. And for someone who's been here 10 days, that was huge and that will only improve. And again, I feel like we've missed that because obviously when Halkett's fit, Halkett comes in.
Yeah.
Right?
All day starts.
Yeah. Kent does seem in that mold in terms of just a big unit who'll talk.
No nonsense. Love it.
He does, however, though, and I feel a bit bad for him because he said this in his interview because I think he thought he had this reputation. He was like, I can play with the ball at my feet. And he can. He a couple of times he was getting the ball down, and Nonto, especially towards the end of the second half, Nonto was just running at him, and twice he Cruyff turned out of there and played it to Sibic at right back. So he's confident. He doesn't seem, at least, I know it's a friendly, so he might just be like, oh, it doesn't matter if I make a mistake, so I'll try this. But generally, he doesn't seem flustered, and he seems like he can pass as well.
Nice. I mean, listen, I think that's a kind of issue that we get in modern football now, where players have to be labelled as some type of player. I mean, I just wanted an example for Neuenhoff because if we're getting kind of a blend of Beningame and Devlin, then that's somebody that could
That's our
light it
best
up for us.
midfielder.
Yeah, basically. And this just sounds like a like for like Craig Halkett replacement that can play a bit as well. So, do you know what? That's very encouraging for the pair of them.
We're recording this on the 1st. It's coming out in the 2nd. Earlier today, the club hinted that a signing was going to be imminent. We assumed it was going to be Tagawa.
I thought it'd be here. I thought I'd literally get the inside scoop on this Japanese bloke, but no.
Exactly. So the two that we're linked with is Tagawa and Vargas, both forwards. I'm both looking forward quick. To them. Both seemingly fast as fuck, which is good.
Nice.
By all accounts, Vargas is a more all-round creative, where he'll score, but he'll also get assists about that. Whereas Tagawa is a bit more like Gino, where apparently he just likes 1-on-1s and running at folk and scoring.
Interesting. I do like that we've obviously had a look at Yutaro Oda, tapped into that, and we've sort of got him a wee pal. I like that. Why not?
It's obviously good that
it's working for the Aussies, and now it could potentially work for some Japanese players.
It's just good that we're going to different markets. I know we've literally just signed a guy for Peterborough, but
again, I don't think we realise quite how tricky it is to attract from England.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
The like even money down in like Leagues 1, 2, and National League, you'd be shocked at.
Forest Green Rovers have like a similar wage bill to us, if not more,
and they've just been relegated to League 2.
Yeah, like it's mental,
mad. I mean, you dread to think what Wrexham are paying in that league as well.
Oh, apparently Paul Mullen declined like championship money to go to Wrexham because he knew he'd get silly though.
Mental. Absolutely mental.
I hope they both come in, mainly because they're exciting. Like, I want to have a Costa Rican.
This is my scene, Raj attackers. This is what I'm all for. This is like the second coming of Mauricio Pinilla with this Vargas fella.
Right.
I'm getting Pinilla vibes.
Here's a question for you.
I don't know if it's I want a headband.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
Who was the only... Now, I might have this wrong, so you might actually be able to help me. Who is the only South American we've had since Pinilla?
Oh, what a question.
I may have this wrong, but I can only think of one.
South American?
Yeah. I don't think there's another one. I think there is only one. Unless I'm forgetting...
Mauricio Pinilla?
Yeah, unless I'm forgetting somebody in like the next season. Because did Velichka come before Pinilla? Was Velichka South American?
No, Velichka was Lithuanian.
He was Lithuanian.
He was one of the Lithuanians.
Right.
Are you talking as a striker or an attacker?
No, as just a player. I can only think of one.
Igor Rossi?
Igor Rossi's the only one I can think of. Can you think of any other South Americans that's played for us in the last 12 years? There's like championship team. There was none. We had like Gomez Barabin from Africa, Pallardo and So from Europe and stuff like that. El Hassanui was also African, but no South Americans.
Oh, God.
I genuinely can't think of it. If people can go...
That's a great quiz question.
Obviously, you're forgetting like, then that would be great. But I want another South American. They're just naturally more exciting, and especially when they're called Kenny Vargas. Yes, please.
Oh, you genuinely stumped me, mate. I'm still sorry. The cogs are still trying to turn.
I genuinely don't think there is another one. If you can think of one, fair play. Because I can't. I can only think of Rossi. Because we've not even had other Brazilians. Or like have we had an Argentinian?
I feel like we have had an Argentinian, but maybe not.
Chowley was Moroccan. I just can't think. So it would be interesting if people reply to us going, "Oh, there was this person."
This is it. We are trying to crack this whole not like other markets, but do you remember like launching the Japanese website? Like this could come in handy for Oda and his mate. Now we're trying to tap into. We could have like folk wandering around the favelas in Hearts kits.
Class.
What more do you want? Checking out Rio, and there's just loads of jambos in Rio.
And if it's this season's kits, at least two of them are class.
Lovely segue, but we have to touch on the departures, surely.
No, fuck! I tried to avoid it. It's too emotional.
What? Emotionally losing Janelli
And Smith.
and Smith.
Gutted about Michael Smith. I still think we should have given him another year. He's at fucking Cheltenham, man.
But exactly, Cheltenham for a reason. Now was the time for Michael Smith. I hate to say it,
I
but now
want him
was
to
the
retire
time.
here. I don't care if he never played again. Just pay him to sit on the bench.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know,
I'm
but
not running the
but
football
that's
club. It's not my financial
oh, no.
responsibility. I don't give a shit.
No, I know, but this is it's sentimentality that gets in the way, isn't it?
No, that's what I'm here for. I don't give a fuck if we finish 10th. Get Michael Smith back. Get Juman for a
Can
laugh.
Michael Smith not have been our backup goalie? No,
Exactly.
Just say Michael McGovern's
fit him in somewhere. It doesn't matter. Who needs McGovern? Just chuck Michael Smith with gloves in. He's back. He'll be fine.
I thought you were going to say that you were devastated because the rest is Kilmer Soglu's away.
Well, this is the big one, right? In terms of
how have we got money?
What?
That's what I want to know.
He'll now go down as one of the weirdest transfers in recent years, just because of how he came. We spent money on him. He didn't really do much, and then he left for. And whether you believe the reports, we apparently made money on him, which I don't.
If we've made profit on him, then that eclipses any signing that we could make. Any kit that we've brought out, that is a genuine miracle.
I don't believe we've made money on him.
Neither do I.
We signed him for €375,000.
Well, I saw on Transfermarkt that I think the fee they quoted was €150,000. Now,
right,
that's rubbish. But so was he. So,
but if we get any money back for a player that we've bought, it's like that's quite good. Normally, if we bought a player, we end up losing it for free.
Oh, fully. You'd expect him, if he signed a 3-year deal, to be rubbish for 2, great in the final year of his contract, and then inevitably latch on to a bigger club for nothing. So,
or
we've got some dough.
A Mallory Mata and Joe Chanel where we have to buy him out his deal.
Pay them up, catch you after, don't come back.
Yeah.
But that was a strange one as well, though, because it came out of nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere. It was just what's happening.
Have they were obviously, it's in the second, or Bundesliga 5. I'm assuming they have stayed there, because I can remember they signed Big Eaton from Rangers, did they not? The big Swiss striker. I don't know if any of their other real activity, but I think they've been kicking about that league for a season or two.
Yeah, a couple of seasons.
So that was a surprise. Good for him to get back to his homeland, and
I think he just never properly clicked. I think there was. I think he got a bad rap by some people, where some people were like, he's the worst player at the club. No, he wasn't. He just didn't do much.
Yeah, I think everybody misconstrued what I'd said as well, in that I'm just amazed that we've made money on him. He's by no means. I mean, we've seen some right shite over the years. He's by no means the worst to have featured for us in the past decade or anything like that.
In the last decade, for me, he doesn't even make the top 40.
No way.
We've seen some shite.
In terms of other departures, look, our youth academy has had one or two gems in recent seasons, but for the most part, very poor. And you look at a couple of the departures. Scott McGill, who we both had high hopes for, joined Wraith Rovers, and Ewan Henderson has finally left to go to Hamilton Accies. He's 23, needs some games. I mean, you're shaking your head. It's no great loss for Henderson, but McGill, I'm quite disappointed.
I understand that disappointment, but again, it's like, well, he's not as good as any of the midfielders we have. And when it's a big difference. I understand, right, when folk are like, well, we need to be bedding in young players. It's a part of DNA. But at the same time, you're going to have to go, okay, but then we're probably not going to get third. Because in this league, you need to have everybody fit, firing, and good to go to get third in this division.
Put it this way, I mean, Ewan Hoff is a year older than Scott McGill. And Scott McGill's had a couple loan spells as Airdrie, impressed elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think one was at Wraith Rovers, and that's what led him to signing there on a permanent. So it's a shame. It's a real shame. A boyhood fan by all accounts. I think his dad's been a regular go to games. So it is a shame.
I hope he smashes it, like.
Oh, absolutely. I don't see any reason why Rovers can't win the championship, to be honest. I watched them at Rugby Park, actually, against Kelly in the Viaplay, and they were really good, Rovers. So that'd be quite nice.
What they can do, actually, yeah.
Definitely. Obviously, we knew about Ross Stewart, Michael Smith and Gary Mackay-Stephen, and James Hill and Garank, who all have returned to Bournemouth and your beloved
still here.
Newcastle. Well, is he?
Apparently, apparently he's training with us on like a month-by-month deal because he's still going through his rehab. So he's a free agent. You know, in Football Manager, you have to, if you don't renew the contract, they just stay about until another club gets them or you release them.
He's hovering.
Yeah, he's just here. Like, he's waiting for somebody to pick him up. So apparently we're allowing them to, like, use his... That's what I've seen on Twitter. I've not actually seen anything official, but I've seen people be like, no, he's just continuing his rehab, so he's been kept about the place.
Dog that we can't quite shake off
Basically,
that's gnawing away at our leg, pretty much.
Aidan Denham's interesting, though, because Aidan Denham was meant to be part of that group that got released, but then he signed a new deal.
And that's down to, obviously, Naismith. I haven't seen him in the B. Interesting. I think he'll get a fair chance of it.
I think for me, he's ahead at Alan Forrest. So, yeah.
Nice. Listen, we'll chat about the friendlies now because you've actually made me think. The only one that I have been in attendance for was the trip to East End Park as we took on Dunfermline. That succeeded a 1-0 defeat to Plymouth Argyle in Spain. The 1-1 draw at East End, like I say. The behind closed doors friendly in which we took the lead against Mansfield Town, but then everybody was raging as we lost 3-1 to the Stags. And then we've just had the Leeds game. So quite quiet on the pre-season front. But in terms of the Dunfermline game, I was actually impressed by a couple of youngsters. James Wilson, for me, looked a real top talent. Right. I really, really liked the look of him.
Luke Rathy is massive.
And wasn't even a right back and was filling at right back. Yeah. Supposedly it was the talk. And looked better than Atkinson on the day for me. So, yeah. And Nathaniel Atkinson is just he's this podcast's boo boy, isn't he?
Yeah,
Nathaniel Atkinson.
Yeah. Listen, he is, right? But I also feel like we gave him credit for his improved performances under Naismith at the tail end of the season.
We did.
And he's never
just defensively
right
that we've still got questions.
He needs to improve. I saw a lot of people, and like the people I was sat with were some of them who were really criticising him for the Leeds game. And I'm like, I'm not going to view how he does against Leeds, against Dan James with his 99 pace.
Better than anything that will come up against in this league.
Like, that's not how I'm going to compare to. What I will compare to is how he does this weekend against St Johnstone. It's like, that's who you determine how he does well against and then judge him. I still think we need cover for him, though. Considering that we're going to have Thagawa and Vargas coming in, I feel like right back is the position that I'm most worried about, purely because, even taking away my views on Atkinson, that's one recognised right back at the club. Sibic can play there, I know that, and Sibic did actually against Leeds come on to play right back.
Well, that's good. At least that the club are weighing that up, so that could be an option that we have to explore.
But part of that was because Atkinson pulled up. He felt his leg and he was kind of a bit like, he was a bit ginger on it. And then they brought on Nonto. And it was like, right, we need to get him off because he's going to pull a hammy.
Who's rapid.
Even before I give my views on Atkinson, I would say we need to get a right back because we can't just go into the season with one recognised right back.
Yeah, definitely.
But additionally, as you say, I don't have many qualms with Atkinson going forward. Offensively, he's fine. But I just worry about him defensively, and I think teams will target him. So even, obviously, this past 24 hours, actually, we've seen links with Ryan Strain, which I don't think...
Really hope that that's the case.
I would love Ryan Strain.
I can't see it personally, but I'd love for us to go in for Ryan Strain. I thought he was perhaps... That might have been a bit strong, but certainly one of the best right backs, if not the best right back in the league last season.
And James Hill was floated. I think if James Hill's available, we should go and get James Hill again. Because he was one of the best players under Naismith, and he's one of those players with a long throw that is legitimately good. It's not just one of those players with a long throw that you like the idea of. It's like, no, we've actually scored a few goals from his long throws.
It did lead to a couple chances, goals. Yeah, I'm less set on the Hill rumours, if I'm honest, but we'll see. Anyway, up come the fixtures. Of course, St Johnstone on the opening day. A really good run, actually, till October, which is brutal.
October.
That looks nightmare. Hibernian at home, Celtic at home, Rangers away. our 3 fixtures in October. I'm assuming that the week between the 7th and the 21st, is that the next round of the Viaplay?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
so the 14th.
Europe.
An international break. Maybe.
It's basically a competition.
Right,
It's
okay.
one of them.
I'm going to assume that it's Viaplay
That's fair.
because that obviously then gets wrapped up. That'll be wrapped up come November, December time, is it not?
Oh yeah, of course.
So it must be a latter stage.
Yeah.
But in terms of the first 7, the fact that Aberdeen are at home.
Do me a favour. Read me the opening 7 games.
I'll read. So obviously St Johnstone away, Kilmarnock at home, Dundee away, Motherwell at home, Aberdeen at home, St Mirren away, Ross County away.
I think the only 2 games we should drop, or I would understand us dropping points in, is Aberdeen and St Mirren. I was actually
going to say Ross County and St Mirren.
I just think Aberdeen.
We always get the better of Aberdeen at Tynecastle, and they always seem to get the better of us.
Oh, it's at Tynecastle. Hi, that's true. That's a fair point. Yeah. But it's like, if we're
even then, we might come out with a point against Aberdeen.
Yeah,
but they've not. They probably won't have gained ground on us, and hopefully Europe will begin to kick in for them as well, which would be really nice.
It's like, especially that opening 4 games. It's like we should win all 4 games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fully. Should.
And I know it's Kilmarnock. I know it's Kilmarnock at Tynecastle, and they always beat us at
Johnston at McDermott.
Yeah, I know, but we need to. It's like, right, we've put Naismith in the coaching team in charge, and this is how I'm viewing this season. It was like, right, Robbie Nielsen was deemed not good enough when he dropped from 3rd to 4th because of the points difference. I totally understand that. What that means is we need to get 3rd for this season to be a success and the management team to stay in charge. And again, it's totally different if, like, the last 3 weeks of the season, it's Hearts, Aberdeen and Hibs, and we're all a point off each other, and it's like, well, listen, couldn't do it. But if we finish, like, 6 points behind 3rd, it's like, right, it's been a failure this season because last season it was deemed a failure as well, and the management team had to change. So we need to be beaten St Johnstone away. We need to finally beat Gilly at home, for fuck's sake. Like, and all that.
I feel more confident. Probably. No, I was going to say, I feel more confident about St Johnstone away, given the rotten form that they're in.
But it would just be the most.
I think Kelly will be tougher. I think there'll be a tougher nut to crack at Tynecastle, I suppose. Yeah, I think so. Do we want to go into kind of table? Have you got a table, a league table?
Well, wait now. I want to.
Or should we point out the other noteworthy fixtures?
So yeah. Also, now is a good time because we'll be playing them this weekend. I don't know what we'll be wearing to speak about the kits. Because I think 2 out of the 3 are excellent.
I think all 3 are great. I really do.
I think the home
kit... You're underwhelmed by the home, aren't you?
I think the home kit is fine. I don't have any issues with it. I just don't think it's very exciting. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I think
it's not, but I quite like that simplistic ideal.
I don't think it's simplistic though. I don't like the bits on the sleeves.
Mosaic.
I do like that. I think it's too busy on the shoulders. Like, I think it's a bit weird.
I think it's calm at the front.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. But it's the sleeve. I do like the sleeves. I don't like the collar. I'm not a fan of the collar.
Would you prefer if it was like tinted white or an actual like polo style collar?
Yeah, either of them, I think it's an improvement.
Okay, I get that.
Away kit. Everybody knows who's listening to this podcast.
Stunning.
I love a pink kit, and I've always wanted us to do a proper pink kit, and it's great.
It's nice.
If we don't announce Kenny Vargas in it and just say he's just Ken, what are we doing with our lives as a football club?
Great shout. Hey, Hearts marketing team, if you're listening in.
Oh, I've messaged Jordan already and said if it doesn't happen,
good.
I hold him personally responsible.
Nice.
That needs to happen.
And then there is the best kit that we've ever released.
Ever.
However,
look at that. It's just apparently a knockoff of a Celtic kit.
Piece. That is majestic.
Perfect. It's literally
beautiful.
perfect.
It's actually beautiful.
It better
he's
stay
here and he's beautiful.
It better stay sponsorless.
Oh,
I'll be so upset.
I think it will. I do think it will. But just the white Umbro just disguising itself into the classic badge, the long sleeves and the socks. Don't
the
even get me
socks are
started
so
on the
good.
socks.
I love the
Oh,
socks.
but has to be black boots only wearing that bad boy for me.
They're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that, and it's
but
going to irk me. But it should be plain black boots.
it's just, because listen, I know that a lot of people were worried because it was like we weren't really doing anything special for the 150th anniversary, and I still think the badge on all three of them should have been the badge with the
Yeah,
150th badge kind of thing. Except
they do
I really like the badge.
the kind of feathers at the side and the
Yeah.
100. Yeah,
I think it should have been that, but it like everybody was shut up when they did get the video where it was like it was a mix of the Heart Song and Jurassic Park.
brilliant.
It was just great. How weird is it to see Craig Gordon in an outfield player's kit?
So odd. So odd. But that now you can see what they were doing for the entire duration of the summer, collating that, getting it all together. That made it all worthwhile.
They won't
Everybody
care.
then just shut up after that.
They won't care about Michael McGovern at that point. They'll just buy the kit. But yeah,
generally, can you say the same folk that were berating the lack of signings, like just their general negativity, their feeling toward the season, were just like, take my money. As soon as they saw that, it was just like, how much do you want? And I'll give you it for that.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
But yeah, generally, I think 2 out of 3 are knocked at the park, and the other one I think is all right. So it's a good year for kits.
I like all three. That does worry me because we like they're beautiful, right? So
they have to be remembered well.
Yeah, that doesn't tend to happen.
No, it doesn't.
An 8th place finish will never look so glorious.
Anyway,
shall we get into our tables just now?
Yes.
Before we get into like our Hearts related predictions, have you got one set?
I do indeed.
Right. Okay. Are we just going to go 12th to 1st, or?
Well, I'll be honest with you, right? I'm not going to beat around the bush here. My top 7 are how the top 7 finished last season.
Interesting.
I don't think it's going to change.
Right, that's fine. I'm just intrigued by your bottom.
My bottom 5 could be completely interchangeable.
I was going to say 3 because I think there's 3 teams that I realistically see for the drop.
Right, go start at 12 and we'll go up.
12 St Johnston.
I've also got St Johnston at 12.
But then we said this last season and somehow they finished 10th or whatever.
And I know,
but this year just looks worse. And this has given me the fear because we're headed to a ground that we don't do well at. They've just been beat off Stirling Albion, with all due respect,
Ayr and Stenhousemuir.
But Stirling at McDermott 4-0, and we were going to draw like 1 each or something, didn't we?
Yeah, I know that some people put too much emphasis into the League Cup group stages in both ways. Some people will go, oh, look how good this team's done. They're going to have a great season, and then it never really works
out. Just as they do with pre-season results and friendlies and all that malarkey anyway.
But St
That's
Johnson
a shocker.
Awful. I know I saw today, actually, that Stephen McLean was like, I had 8
absentees or whatever
pros out that had something like over 1,000 top flight games between them, all missing. And he was like, I didn't have a single wide player, so I had to play a narrow, which I never want to do ever, but it was forced upon us. But he was like, I still should have been able to beat Stirling Albion. Like, it doesn't. You're St Johnson. You should be able to beat Stirling Albion, whatever team you play. They just look, and then Ayr and Stenhousemuir. It's like they just look terrible. So we'll get beat. I don't even think we'll get points. We'll get beat. It'll be 1-0. Stevie May. We've seen this script before for a corner as Frankie Kent falls over. Like,
Liam Gordon, bang.
We've seen this script too many times.
Yikes.
So
11th.
I've got Dundee.
Interesting.
I fucking hate Dundee, and I'm like,
I was tempted to go Dundee, but there's actually I've gone Livingston.
I've got Livingston 10th.
Oh, well, I've got Dundee 10th, so that's a nice little reveal.
So we've got again,
we'd agree that the 3 teams, I think they'll be a cut below everybody else. I just look at Livy, and I think to myself, Nicky Devlin and Jack Fitzwater, 2 key defensive components, are away. They had an absolute shocker toward the end of last season.
They did.
Where it all started with that cup, that defeat in the cup to Inverness. Yes. Never quite recovered, never got back up. I think it's tougher for Scottish clubs to attract players anyway. But by the same score, I don't want to write Livingston off because they've been written off so many times and they always seem to find a way.
Yeah, Martindale gets the best out of his squad.
Every single inch that he can out of his squad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't see them being automatically relegated. I just think, could I see it in the playoffs? Potentially, I could. Yeah,
I think that's fair. As I say, I've got Livingston literally just one place. I think they're going to have a massive drop off from the last couple of seasons. I just think Dundee always do this. They come up and they're like, "Yes, we've finally got a good team," and then they get relegated again. Like, didn't this happen last time when they were like, "Oh, we've actually made some quite good signings," and then they finish bottom?
I thought Robbie was going to get that job. I know the United links, but I just thought I thought he seemed like the outstanding candidate. Could not believe they appointed Tony Docherty. That was such a weird one.
This is what's going to happen tomorrow. Steve McLean's going to get sacked, and Nielsen will get the St Johnstone job just before we play them.
They'll turn us over.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh dear. Right. So we've gone 10th down, 9th.
So I have Ross County.
So do I.
Bloody hell. We're just saying the same things.
But we're gonna change here if your top 7 have differed. 8th.
I've got Kilmarnock.
Interesting. I was tempted to put Motherwell, right. But I've gone St Mirren.
Oh, you think there's going to be a drop off?
I do.
Who have they lost?
Yeah. Curtis Main, who's massive.
That's big. Them. Yeah.
Ayunga, I don't think has returned yet. Again, they've had another shocker. Well, not a shocker, but the Viaplay hasn't been great. I don't know. Not as like not all that convincing anyway. I don't know why. St Mirren had such a good season. We're getting into the top 6. Is that as good as it's going to get for them? Maybe.
I mean, I don't think it's that bold a claim, considering, it was a huge achievement for them to get top 6. They traditionally do finish more in that placement. I just think that the bottom 6 I have, we'll get to my justification of 7th in a minute. I think Killie have strengthened well. I think Killie look like they've had a good window. And generally, I just think St Mirren haven't. I know they've lost Main, which is massive, right? And he might actually be proved to be a bigger loss than we even think. But they've roughly
maybe Bacchus out the door as well.
That's the big one for me. It's if they keep Bacchus, I think they'll be all right. But again, it's so hard to predict middle of the table top flight Scottish football because it's like anything could happen. Because again, some team could nick into the top 6 and then not win a game for the rest of the season. The team that finished 7th get 8 more points, and it's like, oh well, they technically were 6th. Like, I
like the budgets. There's kind of tiers of budgets as well, where it's like Celtic and Rangers. I'd even argue Celtic's budget is greater than Rangers is. Then you've got Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibs. Mm-hmm. Then below
it's
that,
much of a muchness. Like,
really.
Until you get to like Livy.
If we're being honest, aye. And Ross County, I mean, they'll splash a bit though, but they don't really recoup any, do they? So I don't know. 7th, top of the bottom 6.
7th, I've got Motherwell again.
So do I.
So I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh well, look, Kettlewell ball, like it was so good last season." Did that? And it's like
Van Veen was crucial.
Van Veen and Max Johnson.
Another big loss. Yeah, great shout.
They both were like grabbing Paul McGinn and just being like, come on.
Callum Butcher at the back.
Yeah. They've not replaced, like we spoke about him earlier. Theo Bair is not a Kevin Van Veen replacement. I know Theo Bair, he probably can't get a
Connor Wilkinson. They're not. Motherwell always seem to have a decent striker though.
I know
that is one thing. I'm surprised that they've not replaced Kevin Van Veen with somebody like, whether it be like a Higdon or even like I don't know, somebody like a Chris Long or a Ryan Bowman. They've always had somebody that you feel as though they can kind of hang their hat on, and like John Obika's there, mate.
I know, it's so weird. Like, he'll score against us.
Of course he will.
Who doesn't? They seem to have so many outgoings and haven't replaced them at all.
I think that, I think so. I think that's fair.
I'm sticking
with that. And you sort of wonder as well, like, Kettlewell's done well to a point, but surely that's got to come to an end at some stage
Yeah,
soon
you
as
have to
well.
imagine. You have to imagine so.
Into the big boys.
Yep,
Sixth, you'll have St Mirren then,
I do indeed.
and I've got Killy.
Big improvement for Killy for you.
It is, yeah. I just think they've recruited really well. I
They
think
have done.
last season was all about. I said at the time. I think it's a championship squad. Staying up should be seen as the target. Anything other than that's a bonus. I don't think it was a particularly great squad, but I do feel as though they've signed really well in the summer.
That's fair.
I think it's Premiership proven. Your Matty Kennedys, your Marley Watkins might not be good enough for Aberdeen, but I think they'll do a job for Kilmarnock. Kyle McGuinness, Stuart Finlay back as well. I like Robbie Dees. It was at Inverness, the centre half. I think he's decent. Yeah, I think I like big Kyle Vassell as well. I think he's a handful. I think he's somebody that Kelly can depend upon. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Kilmarnock to finish sixth because I also think that Derek McInnes is a really good manager. So
We'll
I'm
see.
going for that.
Who have you got fifth?
Fifth.
I've got, as we know, I've got Hibs.
I've got Birmingham.
Oh, same. Now, I will say this. I think third, fourth, and fifth are all totally up for grabs between the three of us.
Yes, but
I think it could be really tight.
you say this, McIver. I've got a prediction for you
Oh, God.
regarding Hibernian Football Club.
Right, wait now, because what I'm doing this year is making an
Is
actual document so I don't need to go back.
nice.
And so that's what I've been
Okay,
typing. So anything you say, I'm keeping
that's fine.
on record. Adam prediction.
Adam predicts Lee Johnson will lose his job this season.
Wow. When? I won't add that in, but I'm just interested. Do you think you'll see Christmas?
Their October's tough.
Everybody's
Much like
fucking
ours.
October. Isn't it like October is just us and the old firm playing each other?
They've got a decent run. They've lost to Inter Milan. Oh, sorry, Inter Club de l'Escalades
Listen,
in Europe.
they will. This is obviously getting released the night before they play the second leg. I think they could win that second leg like 8-0.
Oh,
right?
they'll beat them comfortably.
Yeah.
But if they don't, he might already be away. So that could be a masterstroke.
If they somehow don't, he'll get sacked before the night's over because it would be the worst result in the history of Scottish football.
That would be the prediction of all predictions.
If you come out with a statement, Lee Johnson will be sacked, and 24 hours later he does, it'll be like, right, lottery numbers right now.
But
generally,
I think they'll stuff them. But Hibs have spent big. They spent some big dough. I mean, this fella from the Dutch club up front, is it Vente, the striker?
Yep.
Dylan Levitt. Obviously, Will Fish back. I think there's an expectation on Hibs amongst the fans. Yeah, he has, proper. He's the most that I can remember in a good while. I think they're going to go for it. But I don't think he's the man to necessarily take them there. I think there's a catalogue of not Johnson fuck-ups per se, but like, I don't know. I feel like last season the recruitment was all over the place, and I don't know whether you can pin that solely on him. By the same score, he's got to get a tune out the players. And Hibs' squad was decent enough. I don't know. Last season was an improvement with finishing, what, 9th or
whatever
8th the season prior. Yeah. But I don't know. He's teetering on the edge of the sack for me. I'm still sceptical towards Lee Johnson.
That's fair. That's very fair. So who have you got finishing outside the top 3?
Rangers.
Imagine you've quietly got that.
Fourth, I'm putting my neck on the line here. I'm going to say Aberdeen.
Is this entirely based around the fact that Europe will affect them?
Yes.
That's fair. It's fair.
Yeah. Is essentially my thinking again. Barry Robson, the feel-good factor, it's got to come to an end at some stage. I also see
it coming towards the end of that last season.
Do you know what I mean? Like, hopefully this spills over and we can build a decent enough of a gap to then not piss it away like we did last year. I don't know. Aberdeen always sell well, but I think Ross McCrory, somebody like that's a big loss. I'm amazed that they've kept a hold of Duke and Miofsky.
Yeah,
They've
same.
also brought in this Sauclair boy up front
Yeah. They've just today they declined 1.1 million for
for
Ramadani.
Ramadani. Saw that, and I'm amazed that they've signed Shinnie and Clarkson. I think their business has been good,
Yeah.
but again, is it enough in terms of bodies? Not really on top of what was there last year. And I think at the back as well, they're still a wee bit iffy because they've not re-signed the boy Pollock, who was on loan from
No,
Watford.
I don't think they
I
have.
think McDonald's the only one, and they seem to be kind of putting in fullbacks at centre halves at the minute. So whether we see a centre back or two, they've obviously got Reece Williams to come into the equation eventually. But yeah, I don't
That's
know.
fair.
I really hope that this is the year that we capitalise. And to be honest, we'd be as well speaking about Europe now. I'm not overly confident against Rosenborg. Would I take an early exit if it meant that it guaranteed third, guaranteed group stage football again next season
Yeah.
in a heartbeat? So that's my thinking.
And then, so obviously I've went us because I've just kept the same top two
Okay,
last
so you've
season.
gone Aberdeen third, and I've gone us
Aberdeen
third.
third, but as I say, I think third, fourth, and fifth. I wouldn't be surprised if Hibs got third, if we got third, or if Aberdeen got third. I really
No,
wouldn't.
no, no. I'd go along with that. I think, yeah. So we are basically in agreement that the top two are nailed on. The top three, the third to fifth are nailed on. So that's five. We've basically agreed that 8 places are pretty much nailed on if we include the bottom 3 as well.
Yeah, this is from the.
So it's only that 4 in the middle from
yeah,
6th to 9th
ninth.
that were a bit dubious, but I think we've gone for pretty much the same.
But even then, 3 of the clubs are still the same, just in different
Yeah.
positions. This is definitely the most like same that we've been since we started doing this. I don't know if that either says A, we just now know how each other think.
I think we were similar last year, no?
We were, but we didn't have this amount of. I can see we had 6 the same in terms of similarities, and then 7 in terms of roughly in the same area. But I was off by 5 places on one, you were off by 4 places and stuff like that. In terms of our own predictions against each other, the biggest difference we have is 3.
Wow.
So I don't know if that just says the league is predictable or if we just think the same about the league. Like either we're idiots or we're really smart. So
yes, I suspect it's the former, but
it probably
you never know. Hearts related predictions.
Yes.
You gave me the categories. So we've got top goal scorer, signing of the season, best young player, and player of the year.
Now, of course, we're doing this on the 1st of August, where we've made 2 outfield signings.
Nice. One of which is a centre half, and the other's a central midfield player.
Yes, exactly. I am not including in my signing of the season chat Tagawa or Vargas, just in case something happens and they don't sign.
That's fine. I'm the exact same, so that's fine.
All right, perfect. So who have you got top goal scorer?
Shanks, obviously.
As do I. I think
that's surely a nap in it, unless he gets injured and then we're fucked.
That's true. That is very true. So,
please announce the forwards soon.
I know, exactly. Signing of the season.
I've gone Frankie Kent at the back.
Well, this is perfect because I've went Neuenhoff.
Oh, interesting.
So we've got them both. They're both covered. It's fine.
Okay, that's good.
Best young player.
He qualifies.
Oh God!
But I've just realised that he might take signing of the season as well. So I've gone Callum Neuenhoff.
Ah, okay, that's fair enough. That is fair enough.
Who you opted for?
I've went the same person as last year, even though he never fucking played. Connor Smith.
Nice, like it.
He signed a new deal. Surely it means he's going to play.
Yeah, maybe. But then, I just think Neuenhoff for the tag, the hype, 22, and then player of the year.
Honestly, I probably should. I didn't realize how young he was. I thought he was ineligible. I'm changing it to Neuenhoff because how can I have
that? Come on.
How can I have signing of the
season?
I gave you shit for this last year when you picked player of the year and top.
In fact, so no, you don't get to change it.
I gave you the option at the time to change it, and you went, "No, I'm sticking my neck in the line." I'm not sticking my neck in the line. I'm sticking my neck firmly in the block.
Like me.
Yeah, fair enough. So, player of the year.
Shanks.
I have also went Lawrence Shankland as well.
So the only one that we differ on
Yeah.
is signing of the season, and you've gone for Newhoff, and then realised, oh yeah, that would be that he's the best young player probably.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
you've said best young player and then not picked him for signing of the season.
Yeah. Well,
it's happening again. It's GMS and Alan Forrest all over again.
Kent will get something. And but put it this way, it's either he or Newhoff. Newhoff can take young player because we don't have any other young players, so we'll give Kent signing of the season.
That's fair.
This is my thinking.
Neither of them ever play, and Kenny Vargas scores 48 goals.
Right. To conclude, I've made a little quiz.
Oh God!
That I thought I'd surprise you with.
Oh my God! I didn't think I thought I was going to go into St Johnstone preview.
No. Well, we can talk about St Johnstone if you want, but we've basically covered that in the fact that we both think, you think we'll get beat. I think we'll get a 1-0 draw at best. So let's move on. This quiz.
Oh God, this was not prepared at all.
It wasn't. So I just thought I'd catch you off guard. I thought it would be entertaining. 5 questions.
And it's not like we revise for them. Like, we don't know.
No, and look, the quiz isn't that big a deal. It's
why
fine.
Am I
it's
suddenly,
a good bit of fun.
For people watching this, why am I suddenly so blue? There we go. I fixed it. I was just suddenly blue.
Nice. 5 questions is normal. True or false in there. Who am I in there? Yeah.
Right.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. First one of the season. So, if we remember, last season it finished 18-8
You battered me.
To me. So there's a 10 difference.
Shocking. Right.
Let's see if I can start well.
I was about to say, let's see how you get off with this start. First question. Hearts played their last pre-season friendly against Leeds United. And you name 3 former Jambos that also played for the Whites.
No, because me and my brother at the game did this, and I could only think of one.
Who's the one?
Connor Shaughnessy.
Christ, I didn't even have him on the list.
Oh, what? Shit. Oh, wait. Not that we signed from Leeds, just to have played at
No, you've played for both.
Oh, fuck. Right, well, the point we were doing was directly signed from Leeds. I could only think of
I couldn't even tell you that he signed from Leeds. I forgot all about him, and yet I did him as a Who Am I the other week.
On loan.
The other week, I say, like, it was a week or two ago. The other month, maybe.
Alan Smith never played for us.
I don't remember Tony Yeboah having a stint in Gorgie.
Exactly. Did Harry Kewell come ever?
I was actually quite proud of this question. I thought of 3 off the top of my head, and then I googled it, and I got this other answer. But Connor Shaughnessy never appeared. I'm
counting Connor Shaughnessy as one because that is an answer.
I'll give you that.
Mainly because I don't know anyone else. So I'm trying to think of any names that have ever played for Leeds that played for us. And genuinely, I can't. There's no point in me even sat. So no. I can only think of Connor.
There's Shaughnessy. 3 defenders in our lifetime that have.
In our lifetime?
Well, now 4 with Shaughnessy.
Why is it just defenders? Why do we exclusively sign defenders?
Don't know.
Did Adam Eckersley play for Leeds?
No.
I'm just saying, did Danny Granger play for Leeds?
No. I like that you've got English left backs.
English left backs at some point. Right. And
there's an Irish right back, if that helps.
Irish right back?
Yeah.
When the fuck have we had an Irish right back?
Another Who Am I? You're not getting the points for any of these, but it's just for a bit of fun.
We've had a Northern Irish right back.
Yeah. But we had an Irish right back that then went on to play for Hibs as well.
What? Oh, I forgot he was Irish. Alan Maybury.
Correct.
Right, and then I can't get...
I've got another 2 centre-halves, one from Australia, the other from Lithuania. Somebody who we both idolise.
Zal played at Leeds.
Zal left us and signed for Leeds.
Why do I think he went straight to Rangers?
And then obviously to Rangers after that.
Did Dylan McGowan play?
No. I like your guess, but no.
Who was it?
Patrick Kisnorbo.
Oh, bollocks.
The other answer that I had off Google was Jock White. I don't know if that's one for our older listeners.
No,
don't know anything about Jock White, so hold my hands up. Sorry.
Well, I got 2/3 of a point.
It's
But
all right.
That's no point.
You
though.
kind of redeemed yourself towards the end. Not
Yeah,
really,
true.
but kind of.
Yeah, that's right.
Second question. Two former Hearts players are managing clubs that were relegated in the SPFL last season. Can you name them?
Edinburgh City didn't get relegated, so it's no Maybury.
No.
Is he still Edinburgh City manager?
Yeah, he is.
Right. Steve McLean Johnson didn't get relegated.
I like that. I hadn't thought of that. It could be another fellow Jambo that's taking a team down.
Stenhouse Muir didn't get relegated, so Gary Naismith doesn't count. Why can I only think of the fucking managers who are just not in? I can't even think. Right, who got relegated last season? So
that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, who finished bottom of the top flight last season? Why can't I think who finished?
The only team that fell out the top flight last season. Your mate Jim Goodwin.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ, wakey.
Right, he doesn't count. Listen, this does much like preseason friendlies.
We're rusty.
Quiz.
We are rusty. I was rusty hosting this.
Right?
To be fair, you're right. You're right.
Right. Jim Goodwin doesn't count because he's still managing Dundee United as well. Right. From the championship,
they've kind of one inherited a shit show. In fact, I tell a lie. They both inherited shit shows and have kept their jobs, I think, for the upcoming season.
All right, so they were both managers at the time when they got relegated.
That were relegated, yeah.
Right. I don't know who got relegated from the Championship or League One.
What about League Two?
Callum Elliott?
No, good guess. He's now at Cowden Beef.
Yep.
Having left Pennycook, the scumbag.
And now I can just think of Andy Kirk at Brecon. I'm great. Why wasn't the question name all the former? I think I've got every single one.
That's decent. Bar the two that I'm looking for. You're on a roll here.
Who are former players that went? Berra was the assistant manager at Livy last season, and now he's not. Who are former players that are Naismith's us, but we didn't.
You want the divisions that they're competing in this season. So one has gone from out of League Two into the Lowland League, and the other has gone from Championship to League One.
Right, they're the worst ones because Dickon who got relegated. I should know the Lowland League one as well because Gala is my local team. We're thinking, hey, Lowland League B teams did class, by the way.
Fly in the B team, keeping East Kilbride off top.
Well, and Liam Fox.
They're off one.
I'm now ignoring the teams and try to just think of former players who are now managers. And I cannot do it at all. So just tell me the answer.
Paul Hartley, who's back at Cove Rangers.
Cove got relegated. I didn't even know that.
They're in League One now. And Sandy Clark. Albion Rovers dropped out the pyramid and are in the Lowland League, and Sandy Clark is their gaffer.
Truly exposing how much I do not care about lower league Scottish football.
All right, listen, this podcast provides an education.
Yeah, evidently.
Not much of one. A pointless Hearts-related education, but an education nonetheless. McIver. Speaking of education, number 3. How do you spell summer signing Callum Neuenhoff's name?
No, I don't know. I keep getting it wrong. I'm going to just guess.
I don't mean Callum.
But that's a different spelling.
He spells it funny as well. Yeah, he does.
Right, I'm guessing here. I'm going to guess it the way I wrote it down here, which has a red underline, so it doesn't recognise it as well. Niewenhoff, but there's a U in there, and I know there is.
Yeah, there is between the E and the W. So Niewenhoff. So you're unlucky. So
I was
very unlucky. You were right, but you were wrong. Right, true or false? Michael McGovern left his first 2 professional clubs, having failed to make an appearance for them.
I think that's true.
You going final answer?
I'm going true.
He's off the mark. It's only taking him until the 4th question.
In my head, I was like, I cannot start this new season and get my first ever 0.
I thought I'd rope you in and that you might think that it was only at Celtic.
Who was he?
But he never played for Celtic or Dundee United, but he was loaned out to Stranraer and St Johnstone whilst he was in Glasgow.
Right.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Fuck for that.
That's it. Off the mark. Yeah. That's the most important thing.
Take it.
You can go into this. Who am I? Not
who gives a shit about it? It doesn't matter.
Does not matter. Does not matter a jot, but we're going to do it anyway. Right, Kyver. I joined the Jambos as a development player before a loan spell in the lower leagues with a club that has since dropped out of the Scottish pyramid. I scored my first goal for Hearts alongside a youth academy graduate in a victory at Tynecastle against the team that the Men in Maroon play this weekend. I've played in both Europe and North America since leaving Hearts, but received my first full international call-up whilst in Gorgie. Who am I?
Right, well, that doesn't help my guess. Because I had a guess until you said
Getting
that
this
last
man's
thing.
Wikipedia up as we speak.
I thought, for some reason in my head, I had Sam Nicholson in my head. Because I was like, did he go to Cowdenbeath or something on loan? Or
I don't think Sam did have a loan spell.
I don't think he did, because he just was chucked in. He was just like, we need everybody. Right, so they've played internationally. Can I please get the nation this man played internationally for? Slash, he might not have got a game. So, like, who did he get called up for when he was at us?
Canada.
I think I know the answer, but I need years.
I thought this might give it away.
Oh, no, wait, shit. There's two players it could be in my head. Oh, and they play at the same time. So the year question is... Oh, wait, bollocks. Was this player a defender?
He was.
Is it Marcus Godinho?
Very good, McIver. Very good.
See,
very
you
good.
can fuck me on the quiz, but the who am I is where I'm good.
Yeah, I thought I might have made that a wee bit too easy toward the end, but yes, very good.
In fairness to you, though, before
I tried to word it so that it was tricky.
Yeah,
it
if
didn't
you
throw
hadn't
you off.
mentioned the international question, I wouldn't have asked their nationality.
No, yeah, I wasn't going to include that. Oh, it's so annoying.
I would have just.
I don't know why he popped into my head. He popped into my head
Yeah.
at some random point in the summer, as he does.
Yeah, as he does.
As he does.
I would have just assumed.
Chuck him in there.
Because often I assume players are Scottish.
Yes, so I thought I might rope you in with that, but then I was like, I was a bit short, a bit light, so I was like, well, I'll go for the international call-up, but that could come back to bite me.
Well,
and it has. That's the risk you take. But well done.
We start the new season as we ended the last one. Me
Started,
smashing
to go on. That's it. Exactly.
Right.
Hopefully, Hearts start as they mean to go on this weekend.
What a final sentence to say on
Thank
that.
you.
So, massive thank you for listening to us. We hope that you're glad that we're back. If you're not, then fair play. We just welcome back next week. It's fine. This will be a one and done first episode. It's all right. But if you have enjoyed it, please let us know on social media. We're at Perth Paisley on everything. By the way, I'm telling you right now, I'm not updating the little Twitter logo and the thing. X can fuck off.
We're not. No. I'm still tweeting out that it's on Twitter. Don't care.
Shut up, Elon. You're not getting the Perth to Paisley mantle upgrade, which I know that you're devastated about.
Elon. Honestly, ruining a perfectly good app. First it was Twitter Blue, now this.
Shocking. Well, you can listen to us not on Twitter Blue, but on Apple, Spotify, all various podcast platforms, and we do hope you enjoy it. If you do, leave us a review on that. You can also watch us on YouTube. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have done that. You can get us on email as well, perthpaisley@gmail.com. Adam, where can they get you on Twitter/X and all other forms of social media?
You can get me on Twitter, /X, /Instagram, /Snapchat, /Facebook at Adam T. Kendo. I think that's got to be the title as well, isn't it? Start as you mean to go on.
Yeah.
There's a wee bit on screen admin for you. What about you, McIver?
At DMcIver22. We'll be back next week to discuss the first league game of the season. Hopefully, some new signings that have come in and anything else that happens. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Come on, Hearts!